keep it short.
Hey everyone, welcome to GoLocal Live. I'm arts and entertainment host Ava Gaudette, and I have a great show lined up today. As you can see, we're already laughing, so we're going to get right into it. My first guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center is comedian Poppy Champlin. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Ava. Appreciate
Oh my goodness, Poppy is a Rhode Island native, now based in Rhode Island, but she has had the most amazing career. You've done so many different things in comedy and entertainment. Really a pleasure to be able to talk to you today.
Thank you, Ava.
So I'll just, it'll take the entire segment to talk about all the different things you've done, but I'm going to touch on a few. You've had appearances on Entertainment Tonight, Comedy Central, Showtime, HBO, and Oprah. Whew. You know, a little lady named Oprah.
Yeah.
Opened for Ray Romano, Dennis Leary, Bill Maher. You have been a staff writer, tours, all kinds of things.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Do you love
pinch myself. I'm like, have I done that? I have.
Do you like thinking about all the different things that you've been able to do in this career?
I love it when you say it all like that. It's like, wow, I am all that. And a bag of chips. I am.
So before we get into all this cool stuff, tell us a little bit about how you got started. What made you decide to go into comedy as a career?
Well, it's funny because when I first got here and I saw there's the arcade right there, and that's where I started. Periwinkles was the first comedy club. But I was in a show at University of Rhode Island. I got a BFA in theater. And Oceantics was this awesome show, and I was a stand-up fish. So I did my fish stick. Help, help, is there a sturgeon in the house? You know. And it went on for like 135, yeah. So it was crazy.
Awesome.
Help, help. And I just got hooked on being a comic.
That's awesome. I always thought of stand-up comedy as like the hardest thing to do in entertainment. Is stand up there and make people laugh.
Yeah,
you know,
it's pretty hard.
I mean, of all the things people do, singing or acting, it's kind of easy. You say someone else's words.
Yeah.
But stand-up comedy is really challenging. Did you get butterflies when you first started?
Oh my God.
Scary?
I mean, it was so hard. And back when I started, which was 82, 83, 84, and then doing periwinkles during that time, all the Guidos that were over there, hey, make me laugh, hey, hey. You know,
the hecklers.
Yeah, the hecklers was brutal. So, but you had to endure. That was the only thing. You just had to keep going. You know, I mean, I believed that I was funny.
Yeah.
I probably wasn't, but I thought I was.
Well, you know, I mean, that's sort of what it takes, right? Like,
yeah.
you have to convince other people, like, I'm great.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it,
Right.
what are you going to do?
Right.
So you made a move after you graduated and everything. You decided to go to Chicago first, or did you make another?
The first was, I did try New York first, which I only lasted like 2 months. It was horrendous. And when the bag lady spit on me, I'm like, that's it, I'm out of here. And and then I went to Texas, and then I went to Chicago.
Okay.
And when I got into Chicago, that's when it started clicking really good.
Yeah. Did you do like some improv stuff too, or did you always stick with?
Oh yeah, no, I went through Second City.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, I did Second City, and that was, the improv is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because it's other people. Like, I can't control them.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. You're working off of someone else's, like, ideas.
Yeah, and you have to agree with their ideas.
Right.
No matter what.
Yes,
it's
and.
like real, yes, exactly.
For anyone who's ever taken an improv class in your life, you know what I'm talking about.
It's yes and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So eventually you made your way to LA. You're in Hollywood. All these cool opportunities started opening up for you, you know, performing the circuit and also working in like television. So tell us a little bit about your experience there and what you feel was like the thing that catapulted you into working in that industry.
Well, I thought after I won the Joan Rivers America's Funniest Real Woman on her show, which was in New York, but I knew I was a good stand-up. And then once I achieved headliner status, because you know you go opener, feature, headliner, so you're opener, middle, the third person. So when I finally got that in Chicago, I thought, well, it's time to go out to LA and get my sitcom, because so many comedians were getting sitcoms, right?
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, all right.
And you had a theater background too, so you.
Right. So I thought I would go, and it was really hard. Like we were talking about, the agent was the most important factor. And I didn't know that, and I had an agent for a second, this guy at William Morris, who said he was going to make me a big star, and I was like, really? This is going to be great. And so I just had to like get him to come see me at the Comedy Store.
Right.
And so after about a month, I was ready, and so I called up, and they were like, who? I'm like, Bill Bronca, and they're like, oh, he went insane. Sorry.
Oh so, no, that was your guy.
That was my guy. And so, but I kept trying, and that was the whole thing. And then I got into writing, and I started writing scripts, and I thought maybe I'll be a writer. And so then I got really close. I got on an interview with Mad TV. So I was going to interview with them. With Everybody Loves Raymond. I was going to maybe work for them, and there was this other one that I was going to maybe write for, and I was like, oh, that'll be great. But then this one agent said to me, at CAA, big agency.
Yeah, very big agency.
Yeah. She's like, well, it sounds like Poppy would rather have her own show. And I'm like, well, yeah. And she's like, okay, you can't be a writer. Bye.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, ah!
I know. It's so tricky.
It's tricky. Yeah. So, and then I tried to be a warm-up comic, and I got to do that on a couple of shows.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
So explain what that is for people who aren't on the inside of the industry. The warm-up comic for like different sitcoms.
Like game shows, sitcoms.
Basically anything with a live studio audience.
Right. And you just keep the audience entertained, basically, between takes and to get them revved up for the show.
You don't want anyone like falling asleep. They could be long hours sometimes. You want everyone to pay attention, keep laughing.
Yeah. Like Friends, I think those shows sometimes could shoot for 7 hours.
Yeah.
So.
I know, and then they bring out the pizza to make everyone feel better.
And candy.
Right? Sugar them up.
But, you know, the stand-up was really what kept me happy and kept me going. And then I started producing my own shows in West Hollywood. And that's what kept me fresh and kept me writing. And so stand-up has always been where it's been at for me, you know?
Yeah, you've had this ability to sort of reinvent yourself in other ways, but you always had that as your kind of go-to.
Yeah.
So you've worked with Rosie O'Donnell quite a bit, a number of times. The most, there was you had made an appearance on Rosie's Family Vacation as a documentary on HBO.
Yeah, that was great.
So how did you get involved with that?
Well, so Rosie's show, remember when she had VH1 Stand-Up Spotlight?
Yes.
So that was her first. I think she was a VJ on that and as a stand-up. But I had worked with her at the Improv in Chicago.
Right.
And she had actually asked me to start writing for her. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be great. But I'm an idiot because you don't know these things are like huge for some reason.
Right. You don't even realize it when it happens.
And my girlfriend at the time, she was like, well, we're going to Jamaica tomorrow, so you can't really, you know, I mean, she didn't tell me this. I was just thought it. So I was like, oh, I got to go to Jamaica. I can't write for Rosie O'Donnell. And the other girl that did stay and write for her ended up touring with her for a while.
Wow.
Anyway, she liked me and I liked her. And so I called her, or I wrote her a letter. I'm like, I'm ready for my close-up. I want to be on your VH1 show. And they wrote me back and said, okay.
They were like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Yeah. So they flew me out to LA.
That is awesome.
I got a leather jacket. I got a hotel. I got a limo. I'm like, oh my God. So it was good. So that was my first foray into television. And I loved it. It was fun. But I was very scared. It's nervous being on TV. This isn't as nervous because it's just one tiny little camera.
Right. Exactly. How do you feel about Rosie's sort of reboot? She's making some.
What is she doing?
Well, she has, you know, the Roseanne.
Rosie O'Donnell's on Roseanne?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
You got your Rosies mixed
I think
up
I have my Rosies mixed up. Well, we have a couple of things to talk about, though.
Okay.
So you have a show coming up in Hartford, headlining at the Hartford Funny Bone.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about this show, and then also you have a tour. This is in its 12th year.
Yes.
The Queer Queens of Comedy with a Q, which I love.
Right.
I missed that. I missed that detail the first time.
I'm so glad you just said comedy, though, because some people try and go Queer Queens of Comedy. I'm like, no,
no.
It's not that. But so I produce the Queer Queens of Comedy all over the country, and I never headline it myself. I always give it to another comedian to do it, and then I sort of am the ringleader, and I go on first and a third and then fifth, and then I close it and I sing, and I'm like the ringleader. But this one, I've decided that I'm going to headline it, which means I'll do the full 40, just a big chunk of Poppy.
Great.
And I kind of enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
Because you really can start, just get into it and stay in it.
Yeah.
And get them, and it's so thrilling to end up the way comedy, when they're going crazy at the end, it's just so satisfying. I don't know what it is about comedy and laughing and making people laugh. It's just so satisfying. So, and you can do it better when you have 40 minutes as opposed to a 10 here and a 15 here and a 10 and a 15.
Sort of harder to establish the rapport with the audience.
And just build it and build it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So that's in Hartford this Sunday, 4 p.m. It's a matinee.
Oh, cool.
And then I have, I don't know if you ever heard of Carol Leifer.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's big. I mean, she did Carson, she did Letterman, she did Leno, she opened for Sinatra. I mean, she's been around and done some great, great stuff. And I have her in a tour in Ohio, Toledo, Cincinnati, and then Columbus. So I'm looking forward to those shows.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the tour that you developed. How did you come up with this idea? I think people know of like the Kings of Comedy was a famous like thing, and this was like an offshoot that you were like, this is going to fill fill a missing link in this. And
I had to fight for that name too, because they're the Kings of Comedy, and then there was the Queens of Comedy. But I was like, well, the Queer Queens of Comedy, I mean, you know what you're getting when you say that.
Right.
And, but I had to fight for that name. And actually, I had to pay to use that name every show after a while. But I don't know, he might have gone out of business. I don't know what. He hasn't come after me, so. But as a lesbian, and I wanted to be one of the best. And other gals were getting headlining spots and selling out some pretty good venues. So I would go to the venue and they were like, well, we don't really know your name. I'm like, well, you should, because I'm funny and I'm one of the best. And they're like, So I was like, well, how about if I bring 2 other lesbian comedians, and then we call ourselves the Queer Queens Comedy, and it's been working ever since.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, because we all are really good. That's the thing. So that works. So you're getting 3 headliners for the price of 1. And, the LGBT community needs us to come into their cities and put on these shows as well, because it's a great gathering place, and it's really fun. It's really, they're great shows. So I'm really happy with
We can get information on your website.
Yep. You can go to poppychamplin.com. You can go to queerqueensofcomedy.com, but you got to spell it with a Q. And so that might be hard. Or my production company is called Poppycock Productions, so you could go to poppycockproductions.com.
Okay, cool.
So you can get there.
So the info is out there.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to make sure I talked about is you are actually offering comedy classes.
Yeah.
Here in Rhode Island, in Kingston. Tell us a little bit about this. What are you teaching? How do you get involved?
It's interesting.
Sign me up.
I'm starting to really enjoy it. At first, I was like, this is gonna be so hard, because how do you teach comedy? But I find that the students that find me, that when you're ready, the teacher will come. Well, I'm ready, and now the students are coming because they're ready. They want to do it. And the thing is, with my class, I offer a show at the end, and it's just a 6-week class. And most of the people that want to take it already kind of have an idea of what they want to bring, like what they want to put forth from themselves. And so I just take it and mold it a little bit, and I sort of dramaturg a little bit, and help them with their writing, and help them with tricks for writing comedy, punchlines, tags, running gags, themes, callbacks, segues. I mean, a lot of
there's a lot of elements to comedy. When I hear other comedians talk with other comedians, there's this whole language of what you guys do that other people don't know about. Like, oh, that was great. I was at like a stand-up competition kind of thing where there were judges, and they were like, I liked your such and such. And I'm like, what is he talking about? This is like insider stuff. But you're going to teach your students what all those little techniques are.
Yeah, and they get it fast. I love it when they get it fast, and then they put on the show, and then the best part is they bring a lot of people, and I make money. Woo!
What's to lose about that? I just dropped my phone.
Yeah. So it's fun. It is fun. And that's at the Courthouse Center for the Arts, which is in Kingston, Rhode Island. And you can just go to that website, which is courthousearts.org. So, and you can find out when the next class is and when the next show is, and like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we will have all the information available on golocalprov.com for upcoming classes, your show on Sunday in Hartford, and you can keep up with Poppy and, go check her out.
Yeah, check it out, and check out A Cut Above Hair Salon in Wakefield.
I love it.
I got the plug in.
Nice. They're going to be so happy. Poppy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me, Ava.
Thank you. We're going to take a very quick pause. We're going to set up for my next guest, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Local Live. I'm Ava Gaudette, and up next here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center, I have Ben Marcoux here with me. Hi Ben.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Ava.
Thank you for being here today. He is a team member with the nonprofit organization Carita's Smile. I did a little feature about Carita's Smile in the past, and they're just such a wonderful organization that I wanted to have you guys back to talk about some of the programs that you are offering. So for people who might not be familiar with Carita's Smile, tell us a little bit about what the mission is of the organization.
Sure. So the mission is to educate and empower mainly women and children, but obviously everyone. And it started off, most of our programs currently are in the Dominican Republic, but we also have programs in other countries around South America. But I actually was just recently brought on as CMO because I went on a trip, which we'll talk about a little bit. And I was so inspired that I wanted to help out in every single way that I could. And so we'll be focusing mainly on Dominican Republic to start.
Yeah.
That's where I went. It was amazing.
Excellent. Yeah, I love Carita's Smile. Their sort of motto is like, you offer random acts of kindness, which is just such a wonderful, with all the organizations out there, with all these different causes, it's just such a nice thing to just put out into the world community.
Yeah, my favorite part about it is actually the fact that it shows that any person, no matter who you are, whether you have a lot of money, no money, a lot of time, a little bit of time, every single person can make an impact and actually do something. Like, it doesn't take a superhero to give a baseball to a kid. But at the same time, that does make you a superhero, right? So it's really
especially to that kid.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I have a funny little story if we can get to it eventually about it. I love it. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, so there's many moments that stick out from the trip that I remember, but one in particular that I remember is we gave, I don't even remember the team, I think it was an Atlanta Braves hat, so sorry Boston Red Sox fans, but they like angels, they're into angels, so anything with an A on it they love, and we gave this hat to a kid, and he ran up to his home, and as we were driving away in the bus, we saw him with the hat on.
Aww.
And it was like right away, I was like, wow, I talked to Sixia,
yeah.
who's the founder of, Sixia Divine is the founder of the nonprofit. And I was like, he's going to wear that hat like forever, isn't he?
Yeah.
And she's like, yep, he is. So.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Super cool. Super cool opportunity.
So the program is Take a Trip, Change a Life, and this is the program that you guys offer for volunteers to go to Dominican Republic, other areas as well, but primarily Dominican Republic, and just help the communities with a variety of different things. It's basically like, how do you guys decipher? Is it need-based, so you go there and see what they need most, or do you sort of predetermine how you're going to help that particular community?
Yeah, Sixia is, we go and focus mainly on Monsión, or at least we did this time. I don't want to speak in too broad brush over everything, but yeah, she's really ingrained in that community, and through her network, she works with nuns. We're a secular organization, but still it's a great resource. Our bus comes from a monastery down the street or whatever. So, so she knows a lot about the community and the people and the culture. And based on that, and also we'd, you know, every girl wants little dolls and every boy wants little, you know, action figures and everything. So we go and we have suitcases full of all that stuff. And then also there's some things that they just need, like diapers and essentials and stuff that we also bring with us. And it's just really cool, a great opportunity.
Yeah, and some of the things that you're offering are things like art classes, and you're teaching them English, different types of like educational programs.
Yeah, absolutely. So education is super important because our goal is to not only go and just give a gift to a child, which is super powerful, but we want to empower and educate those children so that they can become, you know, the next layer of moving these people towards, you know, just improving their lives. And the same way we go, the trip is called Take a Trip, Change a Life, and it's a double entendre because we're changing their lives, but also every single person who goes on the trip gets their lives changed as well. And it's through like actually really truly helping, and not just, you know, giving a kid a doll, but sitting down and a kid who has what we would think of as nothing, giving them, you know, a paintbrush and a paint, just letting them kind of express themselves and just talk and communicate. Empowering is the word. It's really special. I'm going to keep using probably the same buzzwords over and over again. My vocabulary is a little weak, I guess, in the afternoon, but so cool to see the way that they handle, like, just getting the gifts, and the way that it's super fun.
So the trip that you just went on was your first time going on that. So was it what you expected? Was it not what you expected?
There were parts of it that I did expect because Sixia does a very good job of explaining what to expect.
Yeah.
But there's also parts of it where there's really no way to describe, like, it puts things in perspective, right? Like, I was in traffic like 2 days after I got home and feeling like everyone knows, especially Providence driving down here, right? Like, everyone knows traffic and that feeling you get, that like illogical anger that you get in traffic. And I just had, like, going to a place like Dominican Republic and seeing kids who literally don't have cement floors, or like their kitchen is right next to their bed is in the kitchen, is in the living room, and so just see that puts things in perspective and makes it realize that we really are super fortunate to be here. And again, the problem with what I used to think about like volunteering was like, you need to do so much to make an impact, where you really don't. Like, whether it's just a few dollars here, or, I mean, obviously money is always valuable. Being a nonprofit, we love getting supported, but every single person that goes on these trips, like, I know I'm a different, hopefully better person. Depends on who you talk to, I guess. But I know that I'm a different person than I was, even though I was only there for 5 days.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about how people can get involved. I know there are a few trips that are planned for the summertime. So are there any limitations to who can volunteer for this?
I would say the only limitation would be, there is a bit, it's warm, it's warm, so if you don't like beautiful weather, that would be one. Another one would be, there is a bit of walking around. Like, I never once felt uncomfortable or unsafe or anything like that, ever, at all. But you are doing a bit of walking around. Like, you're not in, what is it, Punta Cana or whatever. Like, you're not in a resort. The bus will drop you off and you'll walk around the town square and you'll meet people. So if you, like, literally can't maneuver, like walk that well, I would say that would really be the only restriction, in my opinion.
There are also some programs that Create a Smile offers here in Rhode Island, and what I love about the programs in general is there's always an element of surprise. So they sort of keep the element of surprise to the community that they're going into. So they don't really know that they're going to be receiving gifts. So tell us a little bit about the things that you can do here in Rhode Island.
So in Rhode Island, we also have a gift-giving program very similar to what we do in Dominican Republic that happens on Christmas.
Right.
In I think it's Christmas Eve. Again, I'm new. So. So I believe it's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day where they go around and they pick. It's totally random. Then there's also Cocktails for a Cause, which is like a networking event for Sixia's background is in marketing and advertising and business building. So she connects business owners with a purpose more than just networking for the sake of building our businesses, but also for the sake of finding something bigger than yourself that you can support with your business, right? Your growing success of the business.
And are there other things that people can do to help support Create a Smile if they can't volunteer? Are there donations? Do you guys take donations of toys and clothes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and it's so cool because what happens is if you give something like, let's say, a doll or a bunch of dolls or diapers or whatever, like, we take tons of pictures, so you'll actually be able to see.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Yeah.
Like the doll you bought will be given to a real kid, and it'll really make them smile and really make them feel like the best that they've maybe ever felt, and for you to be able to do that with something so simple. So yes, any donations of any, like, formula, diapers, clothing. No, it doesn't matter the size. It can be hand-me-downs. It can be new clothes. It can be any type of thing like that. And then obviously capital is very much appreciated as well, because just because, like, there's a difference between making a difference and being totally, like, free. So it's like it can't be totally, just because things cost money.
Of course.
Right, diapers and
and there's a lot of planning that goes into these events and trips.
So that's the big ones. Yeah, things that we can actually give, and I can't guarantee you'll get a picture with your gift being given, but I can guarantee it will be given, and it will be given to someone, like you said. That's one of the things that's so special. It's not thought out. Like, they'll literally, we were driving around on the bus, and there was kids just had gotten out of school.
Yeah. Maybe
like 25 kids, and we pulled over, and just like took out stuff, and they ran across the street.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh my God, you cry tears of joy when you see it. And it's just all the cliches that you've heard, they're all true, for the record.
If you were wondering, they're all true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So the trips that are coming up, are they all in the Dominican Republic? Are they in different areas?
There's 2 in June.
Okay.
1 planned for July and 1 in August.
Okay.
Knowing the months is not. So yeah, so far there's 4 planned, and the goal is to get it up to every 2 weeks have a group going to the Dominican Republic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We will have all the information on how you can sign up for the Take a Trip, Change a Life program. We'll also offer all of the information for Create a Smile if you want to make a donation or just any way that you want to get involved. Thank you so much. This is a nice little segue because our next guest is actually the spokesperson for Create a Smile. I'm very excited to speak to her. So Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to take a very quick pause. We're going to get set up to speak with our next guest, and we'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Local Live. I'm Arts and Entertainment host Ava Gaudette, and my next guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center is so very special. I'm very excited to have her here. This is Soraya. Hi Soraya, how are you?
Hi, Nis.
Soraya is the spokesperson for Carita's Smile. I was just speaking with Ben, who is a team member from that organization. So we get to talk to Soraya a little bit about your involvement with that organization. But Soraya is also an amazing singer, like amazing, amazing. So we're definitely going to talk about that as well.
Hold on. Can I take a moment to tell you guys how lovely Ava sings, how powerful her voice is. I wish I had a voice like her. You guys do not even know. Her
Let me
voice
tell
is
you,
wonderful.
so this is really funny. We knew that this interview was coming up, and we ran into each other at karaoke, and I was like, I said, I was in the other room, I'm like, this little person singing is amazing, and then it was you. And this is, Rhode Island's a small place.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Carita's Smile. You are the spokesperson. How did you get involved with the organization?
Well, I started singing in some of their fundraising events, and I saw what they did, and I really wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's really amazing what they do for the community, but also women and children. What is your favorite part about being involved with an organization like that?
Well, I think my favorite part is knowing the feeling of knowing that I'm working part of an organization that travels all around the world and puts smiles on children's faces, and the feeling's just priceless.
Yeah, it really is, and it's amazing that you can help other kids of your own age, and you know that what you have, and you want to be able to offer that to other people.
Yeah.
So you actually wrote a song for the organization.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the song? What was your inspiration?
Well, the song is a song that my dad and I wrote, and I think that when we kind of joined Carita's Smiles and we saw what they did, we kind of got that inspiration, and we wrote a song with such a powerful message about basically what Carita's Smiles is, and we hope that that message and song itself kind of gets people to know what Carita's Smiles is about and maybe even support them.
Do you like the fact that you can use your passion for music to help other kids?
Yes, I'm hoping that I could use my fame growing up to continue making differences and help children around the world.
That's awesome. Like a tear. So let's talk a little bit about your singing. I mean, you're so amazing for your age. You know, your voice is beyond your age. When did you first start singing? When did you realize this is something that you love to do?
Well, I first started singing when there was something called, in my school, International Night in my elementary school when I was in first grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and I was 6 years old. I heard International Night, and there was a song by Bridget Medler that I absolutely loved. I remembered it word by word. So that was the song. I volunteered to sing, and I kept practicing, and then I just sang, and then everyone just said, "Oh my gosh, you need to sing again." So every year for International Night, I sang and sang, and eventually I stopped singing for this school, sadly, but that's what brought me here now. So I'm glad.
And you're singing for all kinds of different things. You performed at PVD Fest. You sing the national anthem at local games, and it's like old hat for you. Do you get nervous, or are you like, no, I'm used to this?
I think the only time I was like nervous was the first time I sang at India Point Park when I was 9, but I don't think I've been as nervous since then.
I mean, it's amazing because really experience is the thing that calms the nerves, you know?
Yeah.
And you've already gained so much experience even at such a young age.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite singers?
It's kind of hard. I like a lot of people.
know.
Well, I like right now. I like listening to a lot of Sam Smith songs, and there is this Brazilian song by an artist called Nego de Borel, and I don't know. I just listen to that every single day. You could ask anyone. I listen to that all the time.
Is this what you want to do with your career?
Definitely. without a doubt, I definitely want to continue doing this.
I think you should.
Thank you.
So I was hoping that I could coerce you into singing a little bit of the song that you wrote for
Definitely.
Karita's Smile. You don't mind?
No, I
Okay,
definitely
I'm going to
don't
move
mind.
out of the way just a little so you can have your little space.
Okay. When your spirit's down and you feel there's no one there to make you smile. When the sound of laughter dims and on your face you wear a smile. When your hopes and dreams are fading like a house of cards all coming down. Look beyond the cards you dealt with and find a hand is reaching out, yeah. Bringing spirits up and hope where needed. Where inspiration's lost, helping retrieve it. Where there's a wounded soul, helping them heal it. Making Carita smile so big the world could see it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I know everyone in the studio is going crazy.
Thank you.
So what do you have coming up next? Anything that we should know about?
There isn't a song that we are currently working with, but definitely in the future we will have more songs.
Great. And we can keep up with Soraya on social media. You can follow her on Facebook and Instagram, Soraya Sings. So you can keep up with her and everything that she's doing. Soraya, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It was an honor.
So that is my time for today. Oh. Be sure to check out Kate Nagel at 4 o'clock with news and politics. And thank everyone so much. That's it.